Good evening, everyone. It is Samantha Goody, your host, and we're back with another week of MMTV. Thank you for joining us this evening, and as always, we have a super interesting segment lineup. I know you're just as excited as me, so let's get right into it. Starting us off, we have Wesley Smith with the question of the week.
My name is Wesley Smith, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and this week's question of the week is, who would you bring in a zombie apocalypse? Alright, Liam, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring?
I would bring you, Les.
How come?
Because you're so awesome and would kill so many zombies.
Thank you, Liam. David, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would bring Mr. Powell.
How come?
Because he's Mr. Powell.
Good answer. Alright, Bailey, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would bring my best friend Kate.
How come?
Because look at her.
Okay, Kate, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would bring my best friend Bailey.
How come?
Because I would be really lonely without her.
Okay, Miss Naughton, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you want to bring with you?
I would definitely bring my husband Jason because he's smart, he thinks quick on his feet, and he would be able to take down those zombies no problem.
Thank you so much. Alright, Megan, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would bring Sean Riley from Shaun of the Dead.
And how come?
Because he survived the zombie apocalypse in that movie and he'd probably help me survive.
Good choice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alright, Mr. Pacetto, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
My wife.
How come?
We've been together for over 40 years, and I love her, and I just want to make sure she's safe too.
Excellent choice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Ty, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would probably bring Superman, just because, like, you know, he's invincible, he can fly, he has super speed, super strength, he can shoot lasers out of his eyes. It would just be, like, easy to beat the zombies, I guess, you know?
Yeah, good choice. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, Connor, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, who would you bring with you?
I would bring Joe Rogan.
How come?
Because Joe Rogan seems like he's very prepared. He'd have tons of elk meat, so I'd have all the nutrition I need. He has his like apocalypse Land Cruiser. He can shoot a bow and arrow pretty good, so I know I'll be safe. He's like a jujitsu master.
That's a pretty good choice.
He's just gonna throw a zombie in a triangle choke. Like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, with Joe Rogan, anyone's safe.
Yeah, and then he'll have like all of his like weights and stuff, and so we can get jacked together.
Yeah.
And you know, it's Joe Rogan. He knows how to have a good time.
Today I'm here with Sam, and I'm gonna ask him, who would you bring in a zombie apocalypse?
You.
How come?
I don't know.
Alright, Sam, who would you bring in a zombie apocalypse?
I would bring Leslie because Leslie's really smart and he'll probably like kill him.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Alright, Arthur, if you could bring anyone in a zombie apocalypse, who would it be?
If I could bring anyone to the zombie apocalypse, it would definitely be Samantha Goody because I can just use her as bait and just throw her to the side.
Wait.
So in the zombie apocalypse, first choice, Diego Salinetti. He's got that knowledge of the wilderness that could really lead us, and he's got those natural leadership skills and that ingenuity and the ability to succeed. Second choice is Ray Rama. They have the same sort of deal with the knowledge of plants and such, which I think is important in a zombie apocalypse because you can't just get food anywhere. Sometimes you might have to forage. Sometimes you might have to hunt. And then third choice, oh, this is tough. It's gonna be Jesus Christ. I feel like the water to wine thing would help out.
Good choices. Thank you so much. And there you have it. That was this week's question of the week. Tune in next week for the next one. See you later.
That was cool, Wesley. Thanks. It's always awesome to hear the opinions of the students. Furthering with our opinions, let's go check out Veer Patel's personal top 10s, and following we have Gage Levesque and Sam Drucker with their perspectives on video games.
Clash of Clans is a mobile strategy game. As of its release on the 2nd of August 2012, the game has become very popular around the world. The game takes up a whopping storage space of 295.9 megabytes. The game has had an age restriction of 9 and up, and a rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars, with over 1.8 million reviews. I will have to rate this game a 7 out of 10. Why that low? Because of the mobile lag and constant bugs. My favorite thing about this game is that it lets you play online with friends, or in groups known as clans.
Dr. Emmerich is probably being held in his lab in the northeast part of that floor. They flooded the area with gas to prevent him from escaping. But there should be a gas mask on that floor too. If you use it, you'll be able to make it through easily.
Oh, what next?
Snake.
You're that ninja.
I've been waiting for you, Snake.
Who are you?
Neither enemy nor friend. I am back from a world where such words are meaningless. I've removed all obstacles. Now you and I will battle to the death.
What do you want?
Now I want to enjoy the moment.
What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Believe me, now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I can see into your mind. So, you like Suikoden? So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you? You enjoy role-playing games.
Alright, continuing, we have Adventures of the Little Guy brought to you by Clementine and Quimby Del Signor. Let's check it out. Funny. I can't wait to see where the little guy takes us next time. Now let's look a little deeper into what's really going on in Monument. Starting with Ty McBride sharing this week's student profile, which gives us a chance to get to know our schoolmates just a little bit better. Following, Christopher Paul is keeping us updated with what's happening in our very own art room.
Hey Jackson, how are you?
Tired. What about you, Ty?
I'm doing well, just doing this interview. So first question, how are you liking school this year?
Overall I'm liking it better than last year.
So, is it difficult adjusting to normal school after the year and a half of an online hybrid curriculum? If so, how?
No, I don't think it's hard at all. I actually think it was easier, just because I feel like a bunch of people who go here work better in person than online. So it was easier to kind of get back into the routine of things and like get back into like actual work instead of doing it online, because I feel like a bunch of people would just either not go to class or just sleep through it or something like that.
Agreed.
But
yeah.
no, I don't think it's been hard at all, or harder at all, at least when it comes to schoolwork itself.
Agreed. If you could change anything about school this year, what would it be?
Ooh, alright, well, you want my list?
Maybe just like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I
questions.
know. I would say definitely work on renovating the building. And then thirdly, probably just work on like getting more classes, honestly, because I feel like there could be a lot more opportunities for classes besides what we have.
Right. How do you feel about the amount of homework you're getting?
So I definitely feel that it's a bunch, it's a lot, but I feel like it's reasonable. Like I feel like most people can pretty much do it. I don't think it's overloading, but it's definitely a bit of a punch in the face compared to last year, because last year it was like homework was just easy.
Right, yeah. One thing that you're looking forward to for the school year?
Senior privileges.
If they happen.
Internship.
What are some of your hobbies or interests, and do you feel like you have enough time to do these activities with the busyness of the school year?
Yes, I do believe I have time to do my hobbies. So my hobbies are listening and playing music, working out, hanging out with friends and family, and just having a good time, honestly.
Cool. All right, last question. If you could be in one place right now, where would you be?
Summer 2020. That was a really good summer for me. A lot of good things happened that summer. And I was overall, it was like a better place than now.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, Jackson, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Alright, so for this week we're focusing on the principles of design, using some elements of art, of shape, and doing collaging. And so what they're doing is trying to lay out a simple object. So I gave them an object like a water bottle, a spray can, a cup, some grass, a clothespin, stuff like that, simple objects that they had to pick out of an envelope, and then pick a design principle. It'd be a contrast, pattern, movement, rhythm, emphasis, and then they make a collage, a piece of art about it.
Alright, so my one is size and emphasis, my principle of design. So I've been practicing a few, I had to do 4 to 6 of them, so I did this one, which is probably my favorite, then I did this one, and then I tried to pick another one. So that, this is another one, it's kind of a simpler one, and then the last one is kind of this one. So Miss Bilton said it doesn't have to look like a dice, like it can look like something else, but it has to give off like the illusion of one. So I'm going to start my piece on this paper, and I'm probably going to use the first sketch of the dice. This one. I'm going to try and draw that one and make it into a collage.
Jars. My word, a rhythm jar. So what I'm gonna do, make a bunch of jars, because you gotta have some rhythm to it.
Great work in the art room. Everything looks beautiful. Continuing with the theme of monument-related news, we have Stella Greenberg with this week's school sports, and then following, we have Sarah Cole with Fairy Tales of Old.
To start off this week, we're going to talk about last week's games. So Friday, September 17th, boys soccer tied 1-1 against Mount Greylock. Volleyball won against Holyoke, and girls soccer tied as well 1-1 against Northampton. Saturday, September 18th, football played East Hampton and lost 32-0. This week's games. On Monday, September 20th, boys soccer played Pope Francis and won 2-1. Volleyball played Mount Anthony and also won. Tuesday, September 21st, girls soccer played Chicopee and tied 3-3. Golf had a game against Lennox and volleyball won against SciTech. And on Wednesday, September 22nd, golf has a game against Tuesday and cross country has a race against 4 Berkshire County schools. For the rest of this week, on Thursday, September 23rd, boys soccer has a home game versus Westfield at 4:30 and 6:30. Girls soccer also has a home game versus Monson at 4, and volleyball plays Central. On Friday, September 24th, football has a home game versus Athol at 7 p.m. and volleyball has a game against Lennox. To end this week, boys soccer has a home game versus Blacktown at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Before we get into next week's games, I was able to interview another athlete. Hello, I'm here with Damian today. Damian, what sport do you play?
I play football.
Nice. What position do you play?
For offense, I play running back, and for defense, I play weak safety.
Have you played other positions, and if so, what positions?
Not during the games, but during practice. Yeah, sometimes I get put on corner or free safety.
Nice. How long have you been playing?
2 years.
2 years. What about in high school?
Just high school.
Alright.
Started sophomore year.
Nice. What got you into playing football?
Definitely the coaches and my friends. I just telling me to play as I should.
What are you hoping to work on this season?
Getting better and getting more playtime.
Nice. What school do you think will be the most difficult to play, or is the most difficult?
Probably Lee.
Why?
Because we've never beat them before, and they're a pretty good team.
Right. Do you watch the sport, and what teams do you follow?
I don't watch the sport.
Yeah.
I just play it.
What about football do you love?
You know that feeling when you catch the ball and get a touchdown or get a really hard tackle on someone and just run through them.
Nice. What are you looking forward to this season?
Winning a game. Finally, come on, let's win one.
Do you play any other sports? If so, what sports do you play?
Yes, I used to play basketball. I don't play it anymore. I play ultimate in the spring, ultimate frisbee.
What do you do to warm up, or what do you do personally before you have a game?
Definitely listen to music. Music's important when you're trying to get hype. Maybe some pre-workout, get your blood pumping.
Nice. Thank you, Damian. Okay, next week's games. Monday, September 27th, boys soccer has a home game versus Agawam at 4:30. Tuesday, September 28th, girls soccer has an away game versus Chicopee. Golf plays Lennox, and volleyball has a home game versus SciTech. Wednesday, September 29th, boys soccer has a home game versus Pope Francis at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. On Thursday, September 30th, volleyball has an away game versus Taconic. Friday, October 1st, football faces Lee away at 7 p.m.
Hello, and welcome to Fairy Tales of Old, where every week we discuss and introduce an old fairy tale that's not as well known, and review it as well as provide possible facts. Last week, we reviewed the Grimm Brothers story, Alalea, the story of a princess who ran away from home to work as a kitchen maid in another kingdom. The goal of this project is just to give some not as recognized stories some light and allow people to learn about them. So, let's get into the story. This week, our story will be one of ancient times written in Japan. The exact original date and author of it is unknown, but there is speculation that it was written between the years 871 and 909. There are many variations of the title, but the two most common names would be The Moon Maiden and The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter. But just to make things simpler, I'll refer to it as The Moon Maiden. This story features two characters, Takatori no Ukina, whose name means, in English, Old Man Who Harvests Bamboo, and Kaguya Hime, whose full name means Princess of Flexible Bamboo Scattering Light. In the story of the Moon Maiden, Takatori finds, while cutting bamboo in the forest, that the ground is shining brightly. While going to investigate it, he spots the source. Lying on the forest floor is a bright green jewel. The jewel opens in his hand, and out comes a very small Kaguya Hime and a bunch of golden coins. She tells him she is a fairy and has come to live with him. He adopts her as a foster child while using the golden coins to pay for a finer house for him and his wife. Over the next few days, he hosts her in his house, and she grows to be the size of a full-grown adult. Takatori allows her to stay in his house as an empress and hires servants to wait on her. Tons of lovers come to seek her hand as they heard she was very beautiful, but she denies them all. telling them she would only care for her foster parents. 3 years passed, and in the 3rd year, the Mikado himself comes to ask for her hand as well. She denies him with tears in her eyes and with the few words of, "Wait and see, Lord," when he questions her as to why. That very same night, the entire household sits and looks up at the night sky as a path of golden light shines down from the moon, and in the path, the king of the moon stands, Kaguya Hime's father. She explains to her foster parents that her father sent her to live in exile for 3 years, and that this same night marked that 3 years exactly past. With that, Kaguya Hime's father pulled her back up to the moon, leaving her foster parents behind. If you'd like to read the full story, it's quite easy to find it online, and I recommend reading it. The wording is very pretty, and there are some missing pieces I wasn't able to include in this segment. There's also a movie adaptation created by Studio Ghibli called The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Go and watch it if you're interested, because its imagery is so breathtaking to watch, and the story is wonderful to see on screen. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and I'll see you next time on Fairy Tales of Old.
You may have noticed we are quickly assimilating to our new segments and are becoming more comfortable. We all share such a profound love and passion for what we do, and it's awesome to see everything come together. Coming up with current news, we have Julia Ryan with this week's current events, and following, Kaden Giderakos with national sports news. Keeping up with current events, current sports news, and even current school news can be super beneficial to oneself. You usually hear things you've never expected to hear either. Nick teams up with Carmen, Adriana, Heidi, and Wilbur to inform us about Guatemalan foods. Right. Up next, we have Caitlin Fennelly bringing us celebrity profiles. And last but never least, today we have a uniquely interesting and educational, opinionated segment on TV shows. This is run by Mia Wade and Dakota Massey. Let's go check it out.
everyone, welcome back to Mia TV Reviews. I have a special guest today, Caitlin Fenley. How are you today, Caitlin?
I'm good, how about you?
I'm good as well. Today we are talking about The Circle. The Circle is a reality game show where the competitors are in the separate rooms and you can't see anyone in person.
Yeah, and they can decide whether they go as a catfish or themselves. In every episode, they rank who they like least to favorite. The favorite has to go into these special rooms where they get kicked off or blocked, as they called it.
When they are down to the final four, they get to finally see each other in person. Once the winner is announced, they get a cash prize. Now that you've gotten the basics of it, I think we should talk more about the show.
I like the show because these are real people. They are funny and cool, but also backstabbing at the same time. I mean, the people you thought liked each other only played to win. If you like a little romance, there's a little, but not the main part of the show.
There is a crazy amount of drama, whether intended or not. They also have some cool little self parties that they do. I also really like the games they play. To get to know each other. It helps people in the games think of who's real and who isn't. The greatest thing is that you can see the different playing styles of the game. The show has a funny narrator in 2 seasons, while it should go on for more.
The rooms that they stay in are so beautiful. The only thing I can think of is how awful it must be to be alone for that long. Yes, they are allowed to bring one of them, but I mean, the one thing that reminds you of home is not at all. I mean, they sit in empty rooms all day, talking to a screen.
I agree. Yes, they get to talk to each other either through text, but having no physical contact can drive people crazy. Even though in the show they look okay with being themselves, but I wouldn't be able to do it. I also want to know if they buy their own food, does the producers buy them? If the producers buy them, would the producers go and see them? I also wonder if they can take out or not. Also, the whole thing of them being able to go to the gym makes me wonder if they share the gym. Would there be a timesheet to make sure no one else sees each other? I also love how they are real people. They deal with real world problems. They don't think they could win by being themselves, either by being ugly or too big.
You can find the show only on Netflix, and if you like craziness, I would recommend the show.
Thank you.
That wraps up our final segment today. We sincerely hope you enjoyed this year's first half day this past Wednesday. I know we surely did. And as always, please wear your mask above your nose. This is super important to reduce the transmission of COVID and to keep Monument open and running. As always, if you have any suggestions, you can email them to monument.tv2021@gmail.com. We love hearing your inputs. So that wraps up this week. Tune in next week, same time, same channel. I hope you guys have a lovely day. This is Samantha Goody from MMTV signing off.